Here we are, the end of week 2. Now, as I said last time, writing does not grow and writing does not improve within a vacuum. In order for us to truly expand our horizons and get better at the whole writing thing, we need to make sure that we're constantly interacting with each other. We need to be picking each other's brains and finding a way to learn and find other perspectives. Now, again, like I said last time, this is extremely difficult in the online environment. We're all very isolated from each other right now. A lot of us are struggling just because, we're either locked in our homes or we're not getting a lot of social interaction. We're not in the middle of lockdown anymore, but I don't know about you guys, but I haven't been to a big outdoor event more than a year, it feels like. All the festivals and stuff I used to go to, whether it was Crawfish Festival, whether it was the food truck festivals, all that stuff's just not happening right now. These are situations where we get to go and, meet people and just be functioning members in a society. We don't have that. We need to find a way to build some new connections. That's essentially what writing is all about anyway. It is, at its core, a method of communication. It's not just something we do so a teacher can review it and slap a grade on your head. There's a function for this thing. And just like anything else that is necessarily just a function, we have to exercise it. We have to go out and we have to engage with it. So here's what I want to do. I want you guys to write me a nice lengthy response to each other's oppression paragraphs. As you think about and as you've written about the things that oppress you, I want you to go in and read each other's responses. And I want you to think really long and hard about what you're seeing and what you're hearing. Now, one of the things that I have learned in these types of interactions is you guys need a little guidance when it comes to this type of thing. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of, leave stuff off and you're just going to kind of be like, I like what you wrote. That's not enough here. We need something that's substantive. I hate that word. It was something that I learned when I first started organizing online classes. A substantive exchange is something that at least has some meat on its bones. It's not like, I liked it. That's it. It's not like, you're really cool, or I'm so sorry, that sounds awful. I want you guys to give each other a good solid paragraph, and I'm going to raise it this time. And this is a good opportunity to talk about paragraphing in general. One of the things that really bothers me the most when I'm grading papers, especially in English 1010, when you turn in something formal to me, when you're getting a grade as a response to Essay 1 or Essay 2, it needs to have clearly differentiated paragraphs. You need to be indenting, separating off different shifts in your topics so that you're not just giving me a full block of text. I've had students submit papers before that were like 4 pages long and they were a single block of text. I don't want to read that. That's awful. That is dreadful. I mean, it's really hard to even read that because you don't have those little small mental gear shifts along the way. So we need to start thinking a little bit about how we form paragraphs, how we differentiate them from each other. So I'm essentially going to force you guys to do that with the second part of this assignment that, again, is going to grow as we move forward. What I want you to do is I want you to go and read some responses of what other people have put in the discussion forum for the things that they find oppressive. And I want you to write a nice 7-sentence paragraph that's responding to what they wrote. Now, again, like I said, oftentimes you guys need a little bit of guidance when you do something like this, because otherwise you can kind of get locked into place and just not really know what to say to each other. You guys need to, you need somebody to kind of push you into the right direction. So what I'm going to say is this. Find a way to ask some questions. Find a way to try to get them to describe more. What is it that do you relate to their experience in some way? Do you struggle with the same thing? How? What is something that you would like to know more about in their writing? Trying to think. Asking questions is a really good way to do this, because one of the things you guys have a tendency to struggle with, again, is also like the page count. Typically at this level, when I tell you to write 4 pages of something, everybody's like, how am I going to fill 4 pages? Well, you need help with that. A lot of times when I have peer interaction, one of the things that ends up happening is that people just kind of sort of like look at their writing and they just like try to fix a few grammar things. And it's like, don't do that. You guys don't have the ability to do that yet. Okay. I've been in college for like what feels like 8 years. I've been teaching college now. I've been teaching here for 10 years. I taught at Georgia Southern for 3. I still barely feel confident enough to fix your grammar. So if I'm not the most confident person in the world to do this, you sure as heck shouldn't be doing it for each other. But where you can help each other is asking each other questions to try to more easily meet that page limit. If you're trying to meet those longer page limits, questions, honest questions that are not yes or no, but are open-ended. And why did you feel this way? What was the worst part of this struggle? What did you learn from this? All those things can help lead a writer down a path where they may be able to compose more, right? And I would say, honestly, here at the beginning, that's one of the biggest problems that people have is generating content. Students need help generating that content. So that's what I want you guys to do for each other. If you want to get real fancy, we could start thinking ahead a little bit. What could your partner, the person that you choose, what could they have potentially have learned from this? What ways could they have be getting stronger? What are the benefits to it? You don't have to do that. It's just an option. Now, I want you to write one response for someone, okay? You go and read a few of them and pick one person to write a response to. Avoid writing a response for someone who already has one because I want everybody to try to get one if they can. But the thing is, keep your original oppression paragraph and make sure you hold on to your response to someone else because that's going to be the thing I want you to submit at the end for a more careful review from me. Now, luckily in the discussion boards, you should be able to go and find your posts. So it will be kind of saved in the forum itself. So keep that in mind. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. This is how I'm going to do a lot of these exercises. And as we move forward, I'll ask you to go back to certain ideas, shape them, change them, revise them, and then submit them for a final copy in a Dropbox soon, maybe even next week. I haven't quite decided when the due date is on this. I might want to play around with it a little bit more. Anyway, happy writing. Try it on for size. If you struggle with it, don't worry too much about it. We'll have a Teams meeting later today. And happy writing.